So you just literally say what you see, and you can't go wrong like that.
No, it's great. Because I mean, for us, like Nick was saying, I'm not comfortable throwing the camera on me. But we're obviously trying.
You're trying to look cool. You don't know
how to make better videos, But I try to do the commentary stuff, so that's great advice.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's what we thought we had to do at the beginning, because we're obviously just learning, and we've been at it just over a year. And literally the first video Glenn put together, Glenn does all the editing and not necessarily all the filming, but all the editing and all the production stuff. And the first one he put together, it's basically like us in the Philippines, going through our process of going to the bar and whatnot. And that thing hit, it's got like 50,000, which is big for us. And then after that, nothing, And so we started thinking like, oh, it's because we're not vlog style and everybody wants to see the vlog style. So then we started trying to do that, and that didn't fucking work. So
what's the thumbnail on the one that went?
It's pretty cool. It's like
all these girls.
Yeah, it's
we realize the market's the market, right? I mean, you gotta, our audience. So when it comes to the thumbnail, I mean, we're trying to get better with that too. Like watching videos on how to make better thumbnails and titles.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I was going through my stuff the other day. The girls go. I have a bunch of 200,000, 400,000 with my face too, and the difference between the ones that didn't go, there was like probably a slight lighting issue or like a lower quality photo that I just tried to fix in Snapseed or something like that. And it's like the quality of the photo wasn't perfect. But if I actually took a photo and made sure that I framed the photo right and stuff like that, those ones, there's no issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Good.
I mean, of course, if a girl's got big boobs, that's going to be an asset too.
Well, sex always sells, right? I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah.
What's your take on like the whole short form movement, with like the TikTok style and the YouTube shorts and that whole thing? I mean, that's kind of taken over the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as what do you mean?
Well, like, are you making those types? Do you think that's the future, or are you still sticking to the long form? Like, what's your view on it?
I mean, I'm open to it. But I think that a long form, they get to know your personality a little bit, And I always, like for my videos, I always say something personal in every video. That's the frustrating thing to me is when people skip a video because I've told a story in there, And I'm like, oh, it builds on the next video. It's like a class.
Yeah.
My channel is like a class. And I'm like, guys, if you guys didn't watch this video, but you watched this other one, like if one's got 800 views and one's got 80,000, it's like you missed last week's class,
No, that's a good point. I don't think the long form's going anywhere, but the frustrating stuff with the short form stuff is like you have 3 seconds to catch someone's attention, or they're just swipe to the next, right?
Yeah.
And
have you played with the CapCut auto edit feature?
Well, that's Glenn.
Yeah. So on the short form stuff, I use the CapCut, and like they have templates that
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, like. I wish I had more time to make it, but I try to do the shit at work and stuff.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's a full-time job, right? And we're trying to make it go with a part-time effort, but that's just where we're at right now.
Yeah.
But
what are you guys focusing on the podcast? You guys focusing on more vlog stuff also?
Well, a little bit of both. We're kind of like all over the place, right? So, I mean, we started this just for fun, and Glenn had the idea of like, let's do this so he can create a job out of it and move over here, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, like, let me help you. Like, let's do it. And, we'll just move forward and learn as we go type of stuff. I always wanted to do the podcast because I'm just a big podcast fan. I listen to a bunch of them. And like I said, I like to talk to people. Like, this shit to me is awesome.
Yeah. Well, you guys have each other, so you guys can do a podcast every day.
Yeah, so I mean, that's basically like the form of video, longer form videos have been the podcast. It's going to be episode, 19 or 20? Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this, this is actually going to be our 20th.
Yeah. So.
And I tell this story on every fucking podcast. So when we first started, like we hadn't started a podcast. Glenn was making videos for like a year, and I wanted to do a podcast. I don't think Glenn was too into it, but I was like, dude, let's do a podcast. And then finally one day we just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
And we set up and I think I talked for like 19 minutes about nonsense, and that was number one. And then it's like consistency always wins, right?